Most diplomatic missions have a team of career diplomats. In theory, anyone can hold the post of ambassador, supported by a team of career diplomats, as long as protocol is followed. What does it even matter who holds the post of ambassador, and can you describe a notable example where the ambassador identity has made a difference to the bilateral relationship?
First, I want to give credit to Korean diplomats, because major personality who's appointed as a non-career diplomat actually would not be able to function without a team of career diplomats to support him or her. There is a bit of symbolism, specific bits of experience. A clear example is growing up in Australia, the Australia-United States relationship. In 1964, President Lyndon Johnson needed to appoint an American ambassador to Australia. He asked the incumbent Prime Minister Robert Menzies at the time, what's the most important thing? Prime Minister Menzies said, someone with the ability to pick up the phone and call you. So ever since then, the majority of American ambassadors to Australia has been someone close to the president and close to the administration. There's a lot of advantages in that, in being enough on the inside to understand the workings of the administration. I know there's a lot of claims of nepotism, but the reality is it seems to work well for the relationship. And on the other side, Australian ambassadors to the United States, there was a distinguished former foreign minister in the 1990s, Andrew Peacock, and there was a distinguished former defence minister, Kim Beazley, 2010 to 2016. Both, they were from opposite sides of politics. Both cases, they had a lot of expertise in the government experience to bring. The current United States ambassador to Australia, stationed at the United States Embassy in Canberra, is Caroline Kennedy, who's the daughter of the iconic United States President from the 1960s, John F. Kennedy. That she does have some diplomatic experience, having previously been ambassador to Japan, and she does have a lot of network experience as far as the Biden administration and members of Congress. In my view, one of the reasons why she has that very important network is, in general, it doesn't make much difference what family you're from. But in her case, because she's the daughter of an iconic United States president, to the best of my knowledge, like every second member of Congress makes it their business to know her over the years. So as a result, if it's such a thing of having a skill set by who your parents are, that would be the example. And another symbolic thing is, in the last year, it was the 60th anniversary of John F. Kennedy's "We Choose to Go to the Moon" speech at Rice University, Texas, which I see as something inspirational, as like setting, in terms of setting goals. He didn't actually live to see man on the moon, but I see that as an important thing. And a key thing of man landing in the moon is Australia, in Canberra, there were a space tracking station with satellites that was key for communication for the moon mission to be successful. So I also see a bit of symbolism that the daughter of John F. Kennedy happened to be the United States ambassador when it was the 60th anniversary of the moon speech. On the other side, the current Australian ambassador to the United States his name's Kevin Rudd. He happens to be a former Australian Prime Minister. It's the first time there's ever been a former Australian Prime Minister as ambassador. So, in my view, it's very much a two-way, like how much more symbolism can you have in terms of who the ambassador is with the importance of the relationship. In terms of his skill set, for the last 9 years, he was the head of a think tank, Asia Policy Institute, and there's a lot of issues with China at the moment, with both Australia and the United States. So that's a key skill set to the role. Having been Australian Prime Minister, he understands like dealing with an American administration and so on. He also served as Australian Foreign Minister. And in the first part of his career, he did spend 7 years as an Australian diplomat. One of the postings as a junior diplomat was to China, so that also adds to his expertise. And he also happens to speak some Mandarin from his experience as a diplomat. So there's clearly a lot that he brings to the table.
Sure.
On a personal level, I actually once met him, but it's very, very not what you'd expect. I happened to be at the Yom HaShroot that the Israeli embassy hosted in Canberra in 2002, talking to the Israeli ambassador together with my mum, and the Israeli ambassador introduces my mum and I to some politician that I'd never heard of, didn't recognize, who'd just be appointed shadow foreign minister. To tell you the truth, I was like, who is this guy? Why is he so significant that the Israeli ambassador is making such a point of making sure to like introduce people? So little did I know he was the next Australian Prime Minister 5 years later. But so you never know who someone is.
Right.
However much it might seem like just some other Tom, Dick or Harry.
Right, sure. It's a very important lesson.